Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is to explain sort of what is going on when a narcissist begins to lose interest in you and they begin to devalue. What is really going on there, especially on the sort of criticism side. The narcissist will sort of fuel their own power by criticizing others, particularly when this crops up is when things get real, when things get accountable, things get normal, things get balanced, things settle down. You're actually accomplishing things not, alone or separate, but together. The narcissist, oftentimes, I feel they are very uncomfortable by for not having their own leg up. The narcissist is always trying to impress others. We had some videos earlier in the start of this year that talks about how do you handle kids when they're becoming sort of chaotic, or they really need guidance. Realize that oftentimes teenage boys or teenagers, they always need to impress others. They're sort of in that real heavy narcissist need to belong for approval, and they'll do things that are very negative, hurtful, in order to gain that approval or feel thrilling, exciting, charming, better than, or how they stand out. So they have a real need to stand out, particularly as it means to impress or be better than others. So if there is a need to be better than, there's always going to be somebody around who is the not as good as. And people, I would say, either if they're on the observing end or the receiving end, this can be very, very hurtful. Hurtful in a number of ways. Why? Because maybe you are not judgmental, critical, or have that same insatiable need for power and control that the narcissist does. So you might find yourself witnessing and then mimicking, or you find yourself maybe following or acting like the narcissist in some ways. And this is very dissettling, saying, I don't want to be that kind of jerk. I don't want to be that kind of person. That's not me, that is them, and I don't have to be like that in order to fit in and then culminate the relationship. Realize that if you don't adhere, if you don't agree, if you don't cave into the demands, the thrill, the excitement, the trying to get you off center, off focus, if you don't fall for that, they will get angry, and then they'll say, that you're boring, or there's something that's wrong with wrong with you, and shameful, and that it's just part of your permanent, and they'll do things and act as if they're very permanent. So they can be like these sort of relationship sentences that you will never be happy again. Don't let the narcissist write you a relationship sentence that you're never going to be happy again, or have love in your life, or other things that you dream of. Just because you did not make it with a narcissist doesn't mean that you're a bad person. You're not an energetic match to someone who is abusive. It's okay. Don't worry about it if you have acknowledged and validated this. But it might be difficult for you to hear and understand. In fact, you might be even trying to override your own truth. Well, maybe I should have worked harder, been funnier, dressed up more, dressed out, what other, eaten differently, spent my money, all these different things that people try to grill themselves, looking back, saying, what could I have done? And then they don't realize the good or the positive with which they are, and they can't really sort of own that, and they become very sort of laden with low self-esteem, and then feeling that they don't really have an opportunity or to grow, or to get excited, or to feel healed. They'll very much hold on to that feeling of being hurt, of being victimized, and they allow the narcissist to define them. This, you really have to sort of realize to what degree were they defining, and why? What is their payoff? And then how did it disempower you? And then what is the real truth? And to know, and to really own it, not just as a need to impress others or de-impress others or put yourself down, but what is the real deal going on? And to not just receive all these criticisms as a permanent part of yourself, because a lot of people, especially if this was done to them as children, they tend to really sort of adhere this to a permanent part of themselves. In other words, they can never rise above it. They can never ascend. They can never change. They're never going to be interesting enough or pretty enough or handsome enough or whatever it is enough. Usually there's some measure that the narcissist will try to notch you down with. So be very careful of this is a manipulation technique. And realize that that is not the truth. You have your truth within. And even if the narcissist isn't willing or able to reflect it, know it, or validate it, that is oftentimes because they have a lack of empathy. They have an inability. So if you're kind of waiting on a narcissist to be able to flip and change, you're kind of waiting on an impossibility. They are very resistive to change. And oftentimes people end up taking the hurt on because of this, and diminishing or becoming more diminutive themselves, not pursuing their interests, not pursuing their happiness, not being able to get, a certain happy energy before they backslide again to what they're sort of addicted to, feeling a victim and defining that, and they don't see a way beyond it. This struggle can go on for some time until you really realize that you're not all the false accusations that the narcissist, that you're boring, or this is too, this is not ready, or you're, there's usually some criticism that they is a convenient out for them. And if people then fall for it, then they don't feel that they can confront or discuss. So people then become very non-confrontational with the narcissist. It becomes very unpleasant. It becomes very, no agreement, no coming together, no closure, no, it becomes just an open wound. And then they try to always keep it open and say, look, the wound is always going to be open. Don't fall for the open wound. You can heal within and not be defined by the scar or the trauma bond with which they have instilled. So that is a big leap. And until you can realize, I am happy, I am normal, this is okay, I am okay, and then to own that, and then to be able to sort of know this truth within before it gets knocked down or thrown under the bus or told it isn't so. Realize that you don't want to be played by this manipulator, to be, to feel down, and then to try to work harder to appease the narcissist. And then you work harder and it does not get anywhere. So that should be able to see, where is your true progress and how do you know you're getting there? What is your true goal and how do you know you're on, what is rewarding for you then? And what brings you into balance? So instead, you're not always just trying to right the wrongs, but you're living in, an okay state, meaning you feel balanced, you feel beyond reproach, that you're normal, that you're okay, that you're okay, you are okay. And then to really feel kinesthetically really what that means and feels like, especially if the narcissist had etched away at that feel state, at that state of being, that mindset, to sort of get you off track, usually to further their cause or really deny your own needs and validate those. So it can become very scary, I would say, for a lot of people to own their truth, own their power, and to do so in a way that they can articulate and behave in accordance, and then not continue to violate themselves through impaired boundaries, letting people walk all over them, talk all over them, throw them, gossip about them behind their back. A lot of people, they don't like that type of energetic way of relating. So it's okay to be different and not succumb to that. It's your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and for goodness sake, please donate for more great tools, videos, discussions, and support. Have a great day. Bye.